As an Airbnb coach or anyone in the space of rental arbitrage that is looking to offer that is offering education as a part of their program offering, you can look at property locating as another way to bring value to your customers. So I'll be breaking down what that looks like, how it's beneficial, and how you can capitalize off of it at scale. So as a coach, you have education. That's your core offering, right? Education. Maybe you're teaching finding property, right? This is sales. Maybe you're teaching, um, funding with credit. You're teaching launching. You're teaching management of bookings. All right. Launching can include like, interior design, right? It could be running numbers, like, every coach is different. Every coach has different abilities and different experiences, strengths, and weaknesses. So we're just using this as a example. So you have education, right? Now, for the most part, if it's two things that you do see, because like when it comes to someone trying to be an operator, they don't want to go into sales. I have ran a team of over 30 employees, and we had a sales department and we had an operations department. So operation department is a whole different personality type than someone that's based around sales. So we had to create a narrative where they both could operate in two different departments and still leverage each other for the greater cause. And so that greater cause is, efficiency, not having to spend a lot of time, and then also making money. So operations should always focus on operations. When you're an Airbnb coach and you're teaching people how to get into the Airbnb business, you're not teaching people how to become salespeople, because at the end of the day, you're showing them how they can use their property and market this property as the sales aspect, right? It's not me trying to figure out how to close a property owner and all these other things. It's how can I take this asset that I have furnished, and I have optimized the online listing to attract the people that I want to attract. So that's where the money is at, right? That's where the money is at, and the time that they have to spend is the time to set up that property and the time that it takes to get that property launched and listed and ready to get bookings. Now, there's another side to it, and that's the sales aspect of even getting that property. And so, as a coach, you can spend your time coaching both sides and things like that, but where you end up finding yourself majority of the time is on the operational side. And so, if you can get the people that are trying to capture the sale, which is the property, if you can get those people to get the sale as quick as possible so you can get them into your ecosystem of operations, then one, you will be a more efficient coach. You will get more students because they'll know that there's a more efficient way to avoid sales, right? When I first started in this business, I believed that I was an introvert, right? I actually enjoyed talking to property owners because I own properties myself. So uh, by default, I had better conversations with property owners than I was at operating the business. So when I was ready to exit the business, I hired a co-host to take over the business side for me because I just enjoyed getting properties for people. So your students, they're going to figure out which one they enjoy the most. But to get them to the bag the fastest, and to allow for them to make money and fulfill the goal that you have sold them on when selling them your program, is to operate an Airbnb business. So our goal is to help them get that property. And that property is going to be through the sales part of finding a property. So when you leverage ZFind, let's just use Atlanta, for example. These are the properties that we have in Atlanta right now. For example, let's just go to this property. So you're teaching operations, you're teaching your student how to do everything. This is what you need to look at interior design wise. Like, I'm terrible at interior design, I'll tell you that. But this is what you need to look at interior design. This is how it needs to be set up, blase, blase. Well, now all you need to do is take that information and apply it to every listing that they see on ZFind, to make a more educated decision on what they can use for their business and where they can make the most profit, where they can, do the most. So when we look at this property right here, we're like, okay, cool. My coach told me that I need to have, a yellow rug. Does this look good in this property? Or for example, let's just say this property was fully like unfurnished. Like this, it looks like this is fake. Looks like it's fake. furniture, but it could be virtual design, whatever it is. Just imagine this room is completely empty, right? This room is completely empty. Now you're teaching your student, okay, this is how you look at an empty room. This is how you figure out what you want for your bed. This is how you figure out what you want for your tables. All these different things. So when it comes to you as a coach, your benefit is the fact that you're selling them the education, right? You're selling them the education. But but you just realized that they just paid for education so that they can get the result faster. If they did not pay for education, then they would not have intentions on getting to the result faster. So by adding more work to their plate, by telling them to go to Zillow and call the property owner and convince them to allow Airbnb, but the property owner says no, so you move on to the next property, you're wasting their time. And so they're trying to get to a result as quick as possible. And so the best way to help them get to that result as quick as possible is to offer property locating. So when you look at this business, not only are you sending them to ZFind, but you're also making 30% commission on every student, right? You're making 30% commission on every single student. So what you're actually making is, we have $297 for the fee for ZFind, and you make 89 per student. So you can do the math. You can do the math yourself on however many students you think would sign up for something like this. Pay $297, right? Think about what you currently are doing. Let's just say you are currently offering property locating. Well, you may have students that paid you $2,000, may paid you $1,000, but what are you doing? You are now becoming that person to fill all those requests. You're being the person to fulfill on making sure that they get a property, make sure that you call the property owner, making sure that you connect them with the property owner. All these different things you're focused on because it's your offer. But imagine not having to even think about that at all, not having to think about the offer itself, just sending them to the offer because it goes in conjunction with your program. So now you're sending them to the offer and you're making money off of the offer, and it's passive. And on top of that, you don't have to manage anything that comes with it. And even better, you don't even have to use ZFind as a service to be an affiliate. So it makes it even better because now you can simply focus on your craft, which is helping your students get to the money the fastest. And so if they can join your program on Monday, log into ZFind on Monday, see a property that they want on Monday, learn the education that entire week, because it's going to take them longer to learn the information than it is to select the property. But if they can learn the information the entire week, by the next Monday, within 7 days, they can have their first lease signed. And then they can order furniture, right? They can order furniture. They went from on Monday not knowing a single thing about the business, not having a property, to the next Monday having a property, having a lease signed, and knowing exactly what to do, to the Monday after that already ordering furniture, waiting for the furniture to just deliver at the property, and then that week setting up the property. So we're talking about a 1, 2, 3-day period. So we're talking about a 1 week, 2 week, 3-day period. So 2.5 weeks of them not knowing anything about Airbnb, getting a property, setting up the property, launching the property, listing the property by the 3rd week, right? Listing the property by the 3rd week from when they actually learned the information, and getting their first booking possibly. So as a coach, what does that do for you? You can start telling your students like, hey, when you get your first booking, leave a testimonial on your entire experience. How long did it take you to get your first property from when you joined the program? Oh, I joined the program on Monday, and by the evening on Monday, I already knew what property I was going to get. It was already approved for Airbnb. By Friday, I already ordered my furniture. Wait, so it only took you 5 days to come in as a newbie, not knowing a single thing, to already ordering your furniture for a property? Yes. And that's what you want. That's what we want, right? So that's the goal. And I think it's more knowledge based. I think when a coach is trying to figure out if this is a good offer, they're not thinking about that. They're not thinking about those things. Now, it is cool to charge your students, thousands of dollars for property locating, but what you do run into is, if a student has a bad experience with a property owner, which we all know that's you can't control that, then you risk the chance of them doing a dispute chargeback of any sort because it just simply they feel like it's your fault because a property owner wasn't responsive or a property owner ghosted them, right? Or a property owner was, lying or untrustworthy, like all these different things. So when you have a lower ticket offer that's 297, they feel like they're getting what they pay for simply by even seeing properties. Because as an introvert, they don't have to pick up the phone. That's worth 297. So that's my goal. That's the goal out of all this. Hope it makes sense. If for any reason you want to join the ZFind program, you can go ahead and join the affiliate program. You can become an affiliate for ZFind, and simply any person that signs up under you through ZFind will essentially pay that $297 and you'll make $89. So if you want to know more about that, you can go to zfind.com/affiliates. So as a coach, you are in a very unique situation because you can speed up their time. You can speed up their entire process and help them just win faster.